Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Courtney and my channel is all about my cross-stitching adventures as well as my other crafting endeavors and the books that I read. And today's video is all about the other crafting and books and some life updates since it has been a very long time since I have filmed a video. And so before we get too far into it, if you've been here before, as you might know, I work in theater, so I like to start my videos with a theater fun fact. And today's theater fun fact is about animals on Broadway, or other shows, musicals, plays, you name it. So, if you don't know, there have been many animals that have performed on Broadway. And yes, I say performed because they have indeed performed. Shows such as Annie, Gypsy, Legally Blonde, Finding Neverland, A Christmas Story, The Wiz, all of those shows have had a dog or other animal in it. If you know the Radio City Christmas Spectacular or the Rockettes, they have animals as well, because they have the whole like Christmas nativity and stuff like that. But the big the most prominent person in contemporary theater who trains these dogs and all of that is Bill Berloni. I had the great fortune of listening to him give a little speech, half promoting his book, half just telling us what he did for a living. But he made his start with the original Annie in 1977, and this was when it was still in its out-of-town tryouts, before it went to Broadway. He got and trained the original Sandy. And the story is really great of how he went and got Sandy, and it kind of started this whole thing, and then he's now become like the go-to person for animals on Broadway. I believe Gypsy was the last show that he had an animal in. And then there was another one that he had, I think, 2 dogs in that he was actually training when I saw him talk, and he brought them with him. And my dogs want to come say hi. Yes, we're talking about animals. Yes. Okay. You saw from my last video, the dogs are doing very well. Kaya is still recovering from being neutered. And so that's why she's wearing a, shirt. We don't usually put clothes on our dogs. They're Alaskan Cleek eyes, so they would overheat very quickly. But it's that instead of wearing a cone. Please don't bite that. And she is a puppy. She's a puppy of puppies. And who is attention for? Yes, you are. So, Bill Berloni, all of the dogs that he gets and uses are all adopted. He does not force a dog to perform if it does not want to. And when they are done performing, they go and live on his farm, where they get to either become a show dog again and will perform in another show, or will get to live out the rest of its life, having a nice, good life at his farm, where he takes care of all of these dogs. They're all trained. They are also trained to be okay and not startled by applause, because as you can imagine, theaters are very loud. They have just as much rehearsals as humans do, if not more. It is very strict guidelines about how you interact with these animals backstage. They're very, very, very good taken care of, and loved greatly. So yeah, I think that is all for that. So for this video, we've got some crochet, some books, some laser engraving, because I bought a laser engraver. Stay tuned for more of that. And a bunch of life updates. So we'll start with crochet. My Ravelry is always linked down below. You'll find all of the details on all of the projects over there. if you have any questions about anything like that. So first we will start with the socks that I crocheted. So here they are. And I have worn these. They have been blocked. They have been worn once. And yeah, I really enjoyed this. I wasn't sure if I was gonna like how they felt, but I did. I really did. So this is the Simple and Best sock pattern by Brianna K Designs, and this is Sin Cycle yarn dyed in the wool in Syringa. So I got this yarn while I was on tour with Rudolph. And I got it, I believe I got it in Montana. Originally I bought this yarn so that when I was making my sweater, I wasn't sure if I was going to have enough for the cuffs, but I did. And so I made socks, and I still have plenty of yarn left from the 2 balls that I had when I made these. So there's that. Next we have Dobby. So this is from a kit that I had gotten a handful of Christmases ago, and I finally got around to making him. I'll post a picture of the kit here. It comes with a book with a whole bunch of different patterns that are all Harry Potter, and yarn to make Dobby and Harry. I'll get to that one in a second. But yeah, there's Dobby. I love how he turned out. He's so cute. I love Harry Potter. I'm so sad about what happened with all of that and the writer. But right. Alright, next we have my scarf that I made, because when I was working in New York City, I didn't have a scarf because I don't usually wear scarves. But walking around New York City in the cold, in the winter, I was very, very cold, and so I made myself a scarf. And this is just, it's the herringstone cowl. So it's the herringbone stitch. I think it's the half double herringbone, and this is so warm. The pattern is by Ashlyn Schumacher. It's the Yarn Bee Ethereal Eyelash in Dusty Rose. It's from Hobby Lobby because they had, I think, just opened a Hobby Lobby in New York City, and so I went, and I could pull it back like this and cover my nose and my ears. Yeah, so there's that. It's very simple. It used the entire skein. That's what it is made for. You just keep going until you like the width or you've used all of the yarn. So yeah, there is my scarf, and I still wear it because, oh my goodness, it is so cold in upstate New York. This week, we're lucky. We reached the double digits. We even reached the 20s, which is wild, but then it's going to get cold again. So, you know. Next we have 2 things that I do not have with me because they were gifts. So I'll post pictures up there. First we have some arm warmies. I used a pattern that my friend made up. It's just really simple. I believe I did the herringbone half double as well because I was obsessed with that stitch at the time. And I made matching ear warmers. That was just kind of my own thing from knowing how and having done ear warmers in the past. You just kind of go back and forth and back and forth. I did back loop only because I wanted the stretch to it. And both of those were made with Karen Cinnamon Swirl Cakes in Snow Cone. Oh my goodness. Are you finally resting and finally laying down? Yeah. You two are so cute. So, next, again, another project that I do not have with me, because it was also a gift. It was a gift for my Secret Santa, because the show that I was working on over the holidays, we did Secret Santa, so I made her a top. and a scarf. The mesh top is from Nikita Nightingale. Both are using the loops and threads facets in Dragon Fruit. The scarf is the same pattern as this one. I just made it longer so that it could be doubled over and worn, like, you fold it and it's doubled. It's an infinity scarf, but you just, like, double it over. And that was, I think also the herringbone half double, I think. Or maybe it was the herringbone double. I don't remember. If I wrote it down in my Ravelry, you can find it down there. But there's pictures of that. Next, I made Hermione. So like I said, that kit came with Harry. Enough yarn to make Harry, but I wanted to make Hermione, and so I did. Because it's all very similar colors. The only difference is I ran out of yarn for her hair, so her head looks a little funky with the hair and stuff, but it is what it is. I don't care. It looks cute. It's been a long time since I've had to change colors, and the head is continuously sewed to the stitched to the body, and so it's just a little off because I did something wonky when I was switching colors. But yeah, so there is Hermione from the same kit that Dobby came from. Next we have, the sweater scarf, which is still in here because I have yet to block it because I need to get a steamer. So this is the sweater scarf with sleeves by Jennifer Renaud. I don't know. But basically it's like a giant scarf, and then at the ends it's got ribbed sleeves, so you can take and, where's the opening? Put your arm into it and wrap it around yourself, like kind of like so. Put your other arm in that one, you know. I made this one for a friend as a Christmas gift, obviously way after Christmas, but this took a lot more yarn than I was anticipating and a lot longer than I was anticipating. It is giant, so I shouldn't be surprised, but so there's that. I'm very glad this is done with so that I can steam it once I get a steamer, which I think I'm going to get tomorrow. And then I am going to get that shipped out. That is made using the loops and threads facets, in Violet. So this is how much leftover I have. I think of like the 5th ball that I had to buy of this. It's really cute though, and I need to figure out what I want to do with that stuff. But yeah, so there is that, and that lives in this bag that I made. It's got the drawstring top. And yeah. Next is the little bandana that I made. So it's got 2 different yarns in it. So this is the Beginner Crochet Granny Triangle Bandana by Heather Brooke. The main yarn here is Lion Brand True Boo in Mushroom. And then the picot edging and the tassels are a Sorelli yarn nylon sock. It's one of the oopsies. It's some of the leftover I had from the sweater I made with it. So it's one of the 2 colors that I used. So there's the leftover. So yeah, there is that. And I believe that is all I have crocheted since the last time I filmed, which is a lot. I got a lot accomplished, I will say. When I was with my friend in New York City, I'll get to more life. He's a crocheter as well, so we did a lot of crocheting, so I got a lot done. So next, I'll show you some of the stuff that I have gotten. So because I travel a lot, I want to like try to find like yarn stores and needle workshops and all of that while I'm like out and about and traveling when I can. And I want to try to get a like hank of yarn from all of these places that is like more locally dyed. So I have a way of remembering. So I got this when I was in California. I got it from Weave and Wander, or Wander and Weave. I'll put the name here. It's in Seal Beach in California. And so this is the, focused. This is the Wonderland Dye Works yarn in Moody Moss. It's their poetic base, so it's 80% merino wool, 20% nylon, and I'm going to make a pair of socks with this. Because I think that's what I'm going to do with these yarns. I think I'm going to make socks. So if you have any good, like, crocheted socks pattern, let me know. Because I'm only crocheting, I'm not knitting. I don't want to learn how to knit. I have too many skills and too many crafts already, and I keep adding to that. So no knitting. Crochet socks. Let me know if you have any crochet sock patterns. And I got this color because when I was out in California, I was working on Peter Pan Goes Wrong. And, you know, it's a very, like, Neverlandy, like, green color. And I really liked it. It also was great that it was called Wonderland. Because I love, Alice in Wonderland. Yeah. So, something I don't have currently, but I believe is going to be delivered soon-ish. I signed up for a monthly mystery yarn from Fangirl Fibers. She does a bunch of them every year that are different themed, and I, of course, couldn't say no to the Broadway Beyond. And I got the sock yarn. So I don't know what colors I'm going to get, but it's all going to be based off of different Broadway shows. So I clearly could not say no to that. Let me know if you have any ideas about patterns I should use, because I want to do something. I don't know if I want to make 12 socks, because I'm going to be making the socks from the stuff that I, like when I travel. I don't know if I want to do like a striped sweater, but I don't know if the color's going to go together. I don't know. If you have any ideas of what I should do, it's one hank of sock yarn. Let me know. Put it in the comments below. I would love your thoughts and ideas. All right. Time to turn the page on my notes, because otherwise I would go off on a tangent and would never get back on. Even though I do that anyway. Ooh! Alright. Oh, gosh. I'm sorry. We're gonna... Next, we have all of the books. Literally all of the books. I use Fable and Goodreads. They're both linked down below if you want to see more about these books, what I've been reading, all of that fun jazz. So when I last recorded, I was reading The Vampire Lestat by Anne Rice. I really enjoyed that book. It was really good. I liked it a lot more than, Interview with the Vampire. It did take me a long time to get through it, though. It was very similar where it was like, you got through, like, a chunk. There was, like, you couldn't put it down, and then it was really hard to get through. You couldn't put it down, back and forth like that. But overall, I was really glad I read it. So after that, I immediately started Queen of the Damned. That one was definitely my favorite of the three. That one, I didn't feel like there was any sluggishness. You also changed perspectives in that one, by who was the narrator, and I really liked that. I like those books in general, to be honest. I like being able to see other people's perspective. That's just me. So the next book I read was A Christmas of Chaos by Scarlett St. Clair. This is this is like the Christmas edition of, the Hades and Persephone story. What is it? A Touch of Darkness is the first one. And I so love her writing. I love, Hades and Persephone. I could not put it down. I finished it very quickly. I loved the Christmas edition. It was really cute. I really liked it a lot. It was great to kind of have a little Hades and Persephone back in my life because I love Greek mythology. Like, literally love Greek mythology. If you have any suggestions of, like, retellings of Greek mythology, please leave them in the comments down below because I will read them. I have a couple in my to-be-read list that I just haven't gotten to yet. Especially, like, Hades and Persephone. Though, at this point, I don't know if I could read any other ones because I love Scarlett St. Clair's version of it so much. But, you never know. So, that ended the last book that I read for 2025. So, in 2025, I read 35 books, and I read all 365 days of the year. I am very, very proud of myself for that because it was a really interesting year. There was definitely some days where I might have just read like 3 chapters and then gone to bed. Or 3 chapters, 3 paragraphs and then gone to bed. But my most read, genre was fantasy. I think that's probably because last year I read all of the Fourth Wing series as well as the entire Zodiac Academy series, which is why there was 35 books, because that was a lot of books, and I read them very quickly because they were a very, very easy read. So then after that, I think I started this book like right before, I think I started it either the day before New Year's Eve or on New Year's Eve. One of those two. But I started Showmance by Chad Beglin. I'm so bad with names. I am so sorry. But I really loved this book. It was so cute. I had actually bought this book because my friend had wanted it, and Barnes & Noble was having their like sale where everything was, I think, 25% off, and so I got it for him. And then I said, you know what, I want to read it. So I read it. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. Definitely, if you like theater, give it a chance. After that, I read The Things Gods Break by Abigail Owen, which is the sequel to The Things Gods, or The Games Gods Play. That's what it is. And it was really good. Again, has to deal with Hades. A little bit of Persephone. Persephone was more in this book. I really can't tell you anything because it gives away what happens at the end of the first book. But yeah, definitely really good. Again, a Hades, Persephone, Greek mythology book. Really good. Can't wait for the next one to come out. After that, I read Hour of the Pumpkin Queen, which is right there. It's got the, hold on, I'll show you. It's got the fancy sprayed edges. It's the Barnes & Noble edition, which is a sequel to Long Live the Pumpkin Queen, which is right here. This one does not have the sprayed edges. Which I didn't realize because I'm terrible and don't pay attention to things. They're actually 2 different authors. And so the Hour of the Pumpkin Queen is by Megan Shepherd. I really enjoyed that one. It was really good. Yeah, I love Night Before Christmas and Jack and Sally and all of that stuff. So after that, I read Veiled Kingdom by Holly Renee. Again, it was really good. We've got somewhat of a was that one dual perspective? Yes, that one's dual perspective. And then I read the second book in that series called The Hunted Heir, and then The Rivaled Crown, which is the last one in that series. And all 3 of those were really good. I really enjoyed them. They were quick, easy reads. And then I read The Hookup Equation by Roxy Noir, which is one of like 5 books all about these different brothers. Each one is a different brother. And like they're finding romance and the love of their life. All of that fun jazz. It's a good, easy, I just wanted something simple to read. So all of those books, all 7 of those books, are what I read in January. The Veiled Kingdom series is a very short one, so I read them each within like 2-3 days. So that's why, and I've had a lot more reading time. I've had a lot more time to do a lot of things in January because I wasn't working. And I just like needed a break from life. So now I am currently reading One Last Time, also by Roxy Noir. And this is the last of the 5 brothers in that series. They're good books. I enjoy the writing. They are all I think they're all dual perspective. But I don't remember. Either way, it's a good one, easy. Yeah. So, next we have my laser engraver. So, I was out in LA. I bought myself it's the We Create Lumos. I'll put a picture of it up there. And I got this because usually for like because I do closing night gifts for shows that I work on instead of opening, because everyone does opening, and so I like to do closing. And I love pins. I collect pins. I love them. They're like literally everywhere I go I collect pins. They're like a great little reminder, and they're cheap usually, and so I like to give pins as closing night gifts because they're usually like decently small. People tend to like them. They can put them on backpacks. They're easy. They're less likely to get just thrown away. And so I was looking for like a pin to do to give as a closing night gift for Peter Pan Goes Wrong, and I just couldn't find anything that was like reasonably priced, and to have them custom made was gonna be way too expensive. So that gave me the thought to just buy myself a laser engraver and make them myself. So that's what I did. And so here is my pin that I made for Finding Neverland. So it's got that sparkle I added to the wood for the gold for the show. And so I wasn't able to obviously make it for Peter Pan Goes Wrong because that was out in LA. The next show I worked on, that literally I closed Peter Pan Goes Wrong. The next day, they started rehearsals for Finding Neverland in New York, and I was in California. And so that day I flew from California to where my parents live, upstate New York. Then I took and slept in my bed at my parents' house. Redid all of my luggage, and then drove down to New York on Tuesday. And then went into the city, went to rehearsal, went back, got my car, went over to my friend's house that I was staying with, and then unpacked, and then started the whirlwind that was Finding Neverland. I'll get into more of that when we get to life updates. But, so I had gotten the laser engraver so that it would be delivered at my parents' house so that I could take it to New York with me. And so I did. And I did a couple of like test like cuts and stuff. And then I did this. Again, I love how it turned out. They're so cute. They all of the cast really loved it. They really, really did. And I'm so glad that I was able to. And it's just like a simple, as I dropped it, pin back that you just glue on. Simple pin. I also am thinking to help with the investment I made, other than just making pins for like the shows, I wanted to make needle minders. Because they're wood, I can glue magnets to them, which I ordered some. And then I can like make a cute little like all of the needle minders that I make or that I have from Fangirl Fibers. Very similar idea to that. I can take and sell them, and people can get either a pin or a needle minder. I have a couple of leftovers from these, so I'm going to put these up on my Etsy shop. So if you are interested, you can select either a pin or a needle minder, either one. Then these are already cut. It will take me a day to put the backings on, just so it gives them a chance to dry. And then I can send them on the way. They'll be a really quick, easy ship. They'll be pretty cheap. Especially since these were kind of the first test ones. If there's any, like, thing that you're interested in regards to, like, designs or anything like that, just let me know. Reach out. I would love to experiment more with this laser engraver. If you have any suggestions at all, any tips, any tricks, these are the, like, stats of because it has 2 lasers, one's red, one's blue. I still don't know a ton about it. I'm still learning, so please help me out if you have any suggestions, any tips, any tricks. I also made ornaments. I didn't bring them with me to show you. They were kind of like remembrance ornaments for our animals. Because unfortunately my dog Kino had passed while, because I got home, saw him, and he passed, I think, like 2 or 3 days later. Yeah. He was our little bud and my mom's best friend, and so when my dog Katana had passed, I made a frame for her. I'll put a picture up over there. And so my mom wanted, because it was close-ish to Christmas, my mom wanted, an ornament, so I used that. So that was on glass. So if you have any suggestions on laser engraving glass with these lasers, please let me know, because I don't really love how they turned out. I got more. I'm going to do more testing and stuff. Please let me know if you have any suggestions, any tips, any tricks. I would love, love, love any tips and tricks you have. Thank you in advance. Yeah. So that is all of the laser engraving. Next we've got life. So since the last time we talked, I was in performances for Peter Pan Goes Wrong. And then that show closed, like I said a little while ago. I went straight to New York, started Finding Neverland. That was a chaotic, crazy, adventurous ride. I stayed with one of my friends. It took me 4 trains to get to the theater where I was doing Finding Neverland. That was quite an adventure. But it gave me a really good idea of what it was like living in New York City and stuff like that, even though I was living with a friend, who's so gracious to let me stay with them. This is the same person that I, do a lot of crocheting with, who I made Wicked for, just, truly one of, the best people I know. And so it really made me want to move to New York City sooner rather than later, because I loved it, and I am ready to, live on my own again. As much as I'm very glad and very thankful that I have really supportive parents who have let me stay with them for a lot of time, and especially because I travel so much, it's really hard to justify getting a place that I'm not going to be in for most of the year. And I just, hate the idea of subletting. I don't know. I know everyone does it. I would have no problem subletting from somebody else. But, the idea of subletting my own place, it just, I don't want to. Yeah. So then, something I had also gotten while I was down there was Dutch Blitz. This was a game that we played a lot during, 2 show days of Peter Pan Goes Wrong. And I just really loved the game. And so I bought it, and I played it once with my friend. It's 2 to 4 players. It's really simple. It's really easy. they have expansion packs. You can play with up to 12 people, because I think they've got 2 expansion packs. But like, we played, for Peter Pan Goes Wrong, we played with 6 people, and that was a lot. So I cannot imagine with 12 people. But 2 people was also really interesting. So Dutch Bliss, definitely check it out. Would highly recommend. It's a really good game. And then also, let's see. I got a whole bunch of stuff just like strewn about. So Christmas, we spent, my parents came down, and my sister lives in the New York City-ish area, and so my parents came down, and I was able to spend Christmas with them. They came up to the theater and saw Finding Neverland, but I figured I'd show you just like 2 of the things that I got for Christmas, because they kind of have a story behind them. So my mom got me a bog bag. It's the original size, the large size. I originally had asked for just like a bog-ish type bag, not necessarily the bog bag, because I wanted it, because I want to make a blanket with the leftover yarn that I have from when I made my Sally granny stitch cardigan. So I wanted this so that I can keep it all in. It's nice and like sturdy and large, because it's gonna be a very large blanket. Eventually I'll start that blanket now that I have this bag. Not that I needed the bag, but I wanted it. And like, I just wanted like a dupe, and then my mom was just like, no, you're gonna get a real bug bag. And I go, okay, thank you, love you. And I also got these clips. They are flat clips, and so like, just like flat hair clips. I like put my hair up in a clip 90% of the time, as it is currently in a clip. And so, especially when I'm driving, I hate having the clip digging into my head. And so like, these just like, here, let me take out the current clip. So if I'll just put it half up, half down. So normal clips, if you have it, they stick out like that, and like, that is so uncomfortable in a car. So this clip, if you do it, you can take, and it's flat against your head. I hope you can see that. Yeah. So it's nice and flat, and you can like rest your head against it, and like, it's not a pain in the butt. And so I've used these, and these are fantastic. I love them so much. So you might not have been able to tell, but I took a different clip out of my hair, and that's because I also love these clips. These are the Mellow clips. I got one of them for Christmas, and then, they were having a sale, so I got 12 of them for a really good price. And so they're squishy. They're like like a softer plastic. And so I have a really bad habit of, when I put my hair up like I had it before, where it's just kind of twisted up, when I put it like this, I have a really bad habit, because I have so much hair, of breaking the clips, especially when I do that, because like, you know, they're hard plastic. And so they're so soft, they're so great. And because they've got a little bit of like give and squish to them, if you lean your head against stuff, it doesn't feel like they're like digging into your head, and these are softer, and so it doesn't feel like you've got like plastic gripping your head, and they're just, cannot say enough about how great these are. They are expensive. Saying that right out the bat, they are expensive, but they so far are so worth it, and I may not use any other clips from now on. But yeah, so these are Mellow. I think because I have so many of these, I might try to see if I can laser engrave these. just for my own personal use, because why not? Yeah, so there's that. What I also got for Christmas was the HP sprocket. If you've seen my floss tubes, you might know that I am scrapbooking them, and I wanted this to take and like do some stuff. I'll show you when I get there. There will eventually be a video of my like scrapbooks cross-stitching, and you'll see what I did with this. I think so. That's all I got for Christmas. And so then a couple other things that I got when I got one of these books for my niece for Christmas, and then they were having Barnes & Noble was having a sale, and so I decided to get one for myself. It's a paint by stickers book. I have not done any of them yet because I just haven't. But yeah, because it was on sale, and my mom's got the Barnes & Noble membership, so I got even more of a discount. And so it's literally paint by stickers. And all of the stickers are in the back here. So I'm really excited to do this. I don't know. It just gives me something fun to do. Because like I said, I need more crafts. Not. I had seen this at Michael's when I was looking for stuff for my Secret Santa. It is a coloring book that came with these pens. I had always been interested in trying these pens, but I just never did. And so I figured, why not? I found it at Michael's again after Christmas, so it was on sale. It was 60 or 70% off, so I said, okay, yeah, sure, I'll get it. It's got some cute coloring. I'm not usually a big coloring person, which is strange because I just showed you 2 coloring things, but whatever. Yeah, so I think that's all of the stuff I had to show you. Yeah. I've really been enjoying being home. I've gotten to go to the Lebanese restaurant on Saturday mornings with my dad for breakfast, which has been so great. I missed it so much. The dogs are doing great. If you look at my last floss tube towards the end, really, they're kind of all in it, but towards the end, they really get a lot. But yeah, they're doing really good. Kaya we call Houdini because she likes to get out of the shirt that she has to wear. One other thing. My parents also got me this for Christmas. And a new sewing machine. We saw this when we went on vacation to Myrtle Beach. And I thought it was really cute. And I really wanted it. And I didn't think my parents got it because, but I'm going to put it on my purse eventually when it's not cold and rainy and gross out and I get it dirty. But yeah, I love red pandas. Red pandas are my favorite animal, and this is so cute. I love it so much. I love being an adult with adult money and loving child things, even though my parents got this for me. Love supportive parents who just let you, be who you want to be. Alright, and so with that, I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will see you in my next one.